So God places spirits in our life, and the devil places bodies in our life. Have you ever loved somebody and then were able to just walk away from them as soon as they hurt you? You see, when I was attracted to Harley, this guy that beat me up, I thought I loved him. And I told him I loved him. But I knew that love doesn't hurt. And I was able to walk away from him because I valued myself. What kind of a mom was I going to be if I was going to allow myself to have a man that wanted to have 100 kids? Or a man to beat me? After the attempted robbery at the store, the gentleman that was getting off shift got off shift. And he gave me a ride home. And he didn't drive right up to my building. He drove a little further down. And he locked me in the vehicle. And he tried to put the moves on me. So this was the second time in the night that I'd had a rape attempt. And I started crying. He told me it was going to feel good. I said, how does this feel good? I almost got shot. I got thrown out off of a balcony. I had been beaten up, and I had almost been raped tonight. And you are telling me that this is going to feel good because you are sexually attracted to me. Because you want to get off. I just want to get off and go home. See, the devil goes and tries as much as he can to try to pull you down. And I got home that night, and I was staying with my cousin. And my cousin's roommate used sympathy to get into my pants. I came in and I started to cry, and he told me that he'd run me a bath. I had blood on the back of my head. So he ran me a bath and told me to go and get some clean clothes, get all comfortable. He knew that something was not right with me. And I told him that I needed. And I'm shaking when I got in there. So he went around me a bath, and I went and got myself some pajamas. And my cousin wasn't home. She wasn't going to be home that night. And then he made me some tea. And we talked about what had happened that night. Then he tells me that he'll give me a back rub to lay down on the floor. So I did. And this guy took advantage of me sexually. This man was 12 years older than me. He was 28. And because he made my body feel good by giving me a massage and then rubbing me at the same time. He was arousing me. And he used that to get me into bed every time. I try to, no, you're too old for me. And this guy had a pregnant girlfriend I had no idea existed. And then he had this jealousy. He was jealous of people, the guys that I was friends with. And this one night, I had met a couple of guys that wanted to go to a movie. These guys had been in jail for a while. I met them through my cousin. And they seemed to want to change their life around. And they just wanted to go to a movie. And I was like, you know what? I'll go to a movie with you guys. I haven't been to a movie forever. And my boyfriend got jealous. And when I got home from the movie, is that he brought some girl that he said that was his cousin. You know, he dangled this girl in front of me that he was sleeping with. But I didn't know. And these two guys that are talking, like, that are with me, they're like, that's not right. That's your boyfriend? And he didn't want you to come out to the movies with us? And I had explained everything to them because I don't hold secrets like this. Like, if I think that something is wrong with somebody's actions against somebody else, I'll let them know. But when these actions are against me, I hold them. So I let these guys know that my boyfriend didn't want me to go out to the movies with them because he didn't trust them. And they said that it's because he doesn't trust himself. And then he shows up at the movies and he's got this young 19-year-old. And she's really tiny and skinny. And I started hearing these thoughts comparing me to her. I'm young and beautiful. She's just small and skinny. With a ditzy personality. And no substance in her words. That was my impression of her. His cousin. And I go back home that evening, and I didn't stay for the late night movie with those guys because they had to be back to where they were staying by a certain time. And it was my boyfriend who had suggested that we stay for a late night movie as well, or go out for coffee. I told him I was coming home. When I came home, right from the front door, I see clothes. And then they lead all the way to his bedroom. Girls and guy clothes. The clothes that they were wearing at the movies. And this rage came to me when I opened up the bedroom door and they were having sex. Because I felt, how could you do that to me and lie to me? And why are you having sex with your cousin? And I grabbed that girl by her hair. And I kicked her out of the apartment. And I shut the door and I gathered her clothes and I threw them in the hallway. Yes, that was a horrible thing for me to do to somebody. But God forgave me. And I'm not saying that I should go out and do this kind of stuff. I was sticking up for myself. And I was also listening to these voices. Because whenever I listen to those voices, they're trying to push me off track in my life. They're trying to make my spirit die. That woman would probably never go and cheat with somebody's man again. I know I wouldn't have. And then this guy gets really physical with me. And I ended our relationship. And I needed to find a place to go and stay. And then God sent me a soulmate. Because he had had enough. Because my spirit light was so dim at that particular time that I became physically abusive towards somebody. Because how my relationship ended with this man that was now going to physically assault me was I lashed out at him and I knocked him out. Because that was my fear. All of that stuff that I had been through with my previous boyfriend. I stood up for myself. And I couldn't stay at my cousin's anymore because this new boyfriend was my cousin's roommate. So I needed to go somewhere else. And Creator brought John into my life. Because Creator knew that I needed some sort of direction because I had ran away from home, listening to those lies. And the bad medicine that was placed on me had worked so well that it pulled me away from my family and myself and my dad. So God had enough and he sent me a soulmate.